Perhaps you've seen that film, Love Actually, where Collin, this rather mediocre, normal, stuffy British man, much like myself, goes to America in the quest for pussy. And he has a certain logic behind that train of thought that, in my experience, actually has a certain kind of reality to it, really. When I was 21 years old, I had some money left for my student loans, and I thought I'd sensibly blow it all going on a huge backpacking adventure around America. And I actually had an American girlfriend at the time from New Jersey, wonderful human being, in many ways taught me precisely what it means to love a human being. I still feel great gratitude to this lovely girl, or I suppose woman now, who's called Rachel. And I visited her, and she gave me her blessing in enjoying the fruits of America, and, as she put it, boning mad bitches. I think that was her choice of words, quite apt. In any case, the first thing that happened to me when I arrived in America was to be very much overwhelmed by New York City. I had just come off a 13-hour flight, and it was 3 a.m. in the morning, and when I arrived in New York City, I felt a little bit like our friend Kevin from Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, seeing these skyscrapers. And in England we have nothing like that, really, not even in the city of London. These epic skyscrapers everywhere. 3 in the morning, and I was knackered. And you know what? The New York City subway system is... Well, I find it to be kind of puzzling. I've been to a lot of cities and used a lot of metros. I suppose back in those days I was still learning the ropes of travelling, but I could not make heads nor tails of the New York City subway system and how that worked. So I thought I would ask someone to help. 3 in the morning, I'm trying to get to my hostel, and my hostel was in Harlem, of all places, and I was warned not to go to Harlem, because it's meant to be dangerous, but I never had any problems. But anyway, that's another story. So I go up to this girl, and this girl is seemingly selling baseball tickets in the street. I go up to her, a young girl, about my age at the time, and I said to her, "Excuse me, how do you do?" You gotta up the Britishness when you're in America, because you know that the American girls like it. So all of a sudden, I'm pretty posh anyway, but I've become, look at me blushing here. This shows I'm a virtuous man. I've evolved this capacity for blushing for this reason. But anyway, I up the Britishness a bit, and to make a good impression. And she says, "Oh my God. Are you from England?" she says. And I'm like, "Oh yes, I'm from England, And I'm trying to find my hostel. I wonder if you could give me directions to my hostel." And this is what happened. I mean, I can't, and looking back, I just can't believe it. She not only gives me directions, but she insists on getting on the subway with me and taking me to my hostel. And on the carriage, she explains to me how she's training to be a masseuse, and she gives really good massages, right? So, and I'm in the meantime, to put this in context, right, as good as this sounds, I've just flown to America to see my girlfriend. And although my girlfriend had given me blessing to, as I said, bone mad bitches, I didn't really feel like it was the right thing to do. I was very much looking forward to sleeping with loads of American girls as I drifted around, but I actually resolved, and it was 3 in the fucking morning. Give me a break here, Jesus. I just come off a plane. I'm not going to be, I'm not in the mood for this shit. And anyway, so I'm already thinking, where is this going? How can I get out of this? And also, where am I staying? I'm staying in some hostel in a fucking dorm, So I can't have guests anyway. But she takes me to the hostel and says, "So, can I come in?" And I'm like, oh well, I'm in a dorm, so I can't have any guests, and I'm trying to get out of this encounter. And so she says, oh well, come with me, she says. And so I follow her, and she takes me to the sketchiest park in the depths of Harlem, in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m, and she just says, lay down. And I can't believe this. Women in England are not like this, I think to myself. If only they were like this, I probably wouldn't have bothered coming to fucking America in the first place. But anyway, as I said, I really wasn't in the mood for this. So I made up an excuse, and I said I didn't have any protection and I had to go, and she got the hint, and I basically got the fuck out of Dodge there. It was various police cars, went by with their sirens flashing. God knows what they thought was going on. God knows what you thought was going on, because I personally am not entirely sure myself. Was this a woman of easy virtue, as Shakespeare would say? Was she some strumpet looking to, I don't know, was this an exchange of services? I wonder, looking back, and naive me didn't realise the ways of dingy New York, the viceful place of the New York at night time, this trainee masseuse. I mean, that word masseuse does have a number of different meanings, I have discovered as I have travelled the world, so what kind of masseuse was she exactly? I guess I'll never know, and we didn't stay in touch. But Jesus, and talk about first impressions of America. That was the first thing, that was the first person I really interacted with in America, and it was a girl who wanted to have sex with me, basically in public, in a park in Harlem, in the middle of the night. So yeah, I took that as, if nothing else, a really good omen about the 3 months of greyhounding around America that I was about to embark on. And lo and behold, it was, it was a great trip. In fact, I took a journal of that trip, and at some point I'm going to make some videos where I just read from the journal and think about those times, because it was such a fun adventure, and actually it was my first proper backpacking thing. A strange choice, right? And this was a while back. I guess this was 2007 off the top of my head, maybe earlier. I was just 21 years old. A lot of people go backpacking to Bali, they go backpacking to Southeast Asia, which is really cool. But for whatever reason, I thought I'd go to America. And you know what that reason was, actually? It was because in that window, at that particular time, the American economy had fucking tanked. And £1 could get you $2 back then. How times have changed. But those 3 months were really fun. It was like everything was on half-price sale. And it was, like visiting a third world country for that brief window in terms of, eating in nice restaurants for very little money and things like this. It was a really, really good time, really fond memories. So at some point, as a part of this general project of documenting my life through this channel, I will regale you with some accounts from this journal of my mad adventure greyhounding around America. In any case, thank you for listening once again to my ramblings and my stories. I hope you enjoyed that story and found it amusing. And I hope that you're well as you listen to this and that you have a lovely day. Thank you again.